Okay, so good day everyone.
Yeah,
My
good
name
day.
is Chijindu Igwe, a PhD student at Simon Fraser University in Canada. Yeah, so I'm pleased to be here with you guys. So I'm gonna be discussing on securing funded graduate research positions via cold emailing. Yeah, you must forgive me. My slide is not as fancy as those from yesterday. Yeah. So, well, it's quite engaging. So, we'll be going over understanding the differences in opportunities that we have, understanding what cold emailing is, what you must do before you commence cold emailing. Um, we see the structure and the parts and the necessary items you have to attach in a typical cold email. Then, when the times and the months that are well suitable for cold emailing, the things you must not do um, while cold emailing, and then the responses you may be expecting, and then what you may be doing next. So let's get into it. So here, like I was talking with Ariza before we commence this meeting, I think it's very important for us to first understand um, these opportunities. The way I classify them in two separate ways, where one is more scholarship inclined and the other is more research funded inclined. So, and in the first category, I would like us to understand that most scholarships require that you have some impressive CGPA, you have some impressive profile, leadership profile, I mean, community service engagements, all those, and you write essay, you write tons of essay. You have to have these as your areas of strength versus not that these areas are not also as important as in the research area, but then there are things that are more highlighted in the research area, which are something like your capability for research. What was your undergraduate research topic like? What did you do? Do you have publications, articles, conferences, seminars, right? All of those things that are tilting towards research endeavors. Are you engaged under a research expert as a research assistant? Now, for someone who is still confused on this, at least you now know that if you are anticipating to go into research, you should fine-tune these areas. You should be engaged as a research assistant. You should try to attend conferences and seminars. Work on your undergraduate project topic. Work on having publications from them and all of that. Yes. And if you are going for scholarships, you know that the other criteria, the points you have to strengthen yourself in. Okay, so what is cold emailing? Now I've used color codes here to point out important some important elements in this definition. A cold email is an unsolicited email, unsolicited. Yeah, because you're sending it to someone who does not know you, and the person has probably not met you before. So, and this is not the same as spam messages because spams, they are irrelevant that you're just sending out to people and you're not um, um, making it particular to them. Now, a well-crafted cold email is personalized and relevant to the recipient, and hopefully you are hoping to get a response or hoping that when the person sees this, the person is going to be prompted to give you a response, and that's cold email. The things you must do, I see so many beginners. I mean, some of us did it when we started, just sending out stuff. No, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. There are the things you must do. And this is so important that you do not do these things. I mean, you don't just wake up and start sending emails to these people. You're not only limiting your chances of ever getting responses from them, but you also like shutting the door for people coming after you. Now, last week, just in this past week, I was sharing with Irene how a professor who I I I I know from here he knew that I'm from Nigeria, and he has been hearing impressive stuff from Nigerians, but he has not recruited, he has not gotten any student from Nigeria before now. Now, a student sends him cold email, and then he finds the student to be an impressive one. So do you know what he did? He emailed me, sent me the guy's documents. What do you think about this guy? What do you think about his suitability for my research group? And what do you think about his university? I mean, I do not know much about Nigerian universities. Can you share? Tell me more about Nigerian universities. Now, what this means is that this guy has no information about Nigerian universities. He does not know much about Nigerian students because he has not recruited from Nigeria before. Now, if the emails he's getting from Nigeria are not very okay, are not very good, now he's just going to form an opinion in his head that these guys are no good, right? And subsequent people coming from Nigeria that's going to be emailing him, no matter how excellent or attractive they are a candidate, he may not be open to giving them a chance. So please do not just send random emails. Do not do that. Now, the things you have to do, first, you have to first identify a fertile research area. You have to do this. This is the beginning stage. You know you're not ready when you don't even know the research area you're in, and you want to be sending emails to professors, right? So you have to identify a fertile research area. Now, what does the word fertile mean to you in this regard? Fertile is where the money dey, like where it's funded. Yeah, right? You have to identify where it's funded. So, and one mistake that we usually make here is that we think it's what we do in Nigeria that's going to be attractive to these people here. You may not need to make that assumption. You want to find out, and that's why I have how. How do you find fertile and funded research area? How do you know these areas? Now, these things are what you must do. First, you must, I tell people like, highlight about 10 to 20 universities in your targeted country. Now, let's use the US, for instance, right? Highlight 10 universities, go around these universities, go around their websites, try to understand what research the professors there, what are they doing? What research are they doing in the last, like starting from after COVID, 2020, right? What are they doing at the moment? What kind of publications have they in your area of study, right? So after you must have done this for about 10 to 20 universities, you are going to start coming to an opinion. Oh, okay, this is what's going on. This is what these people are doing, right? Now you start matching it to where you're coming from, your undergraduate project topic, right? You start seeing the areas where you can, that is most aligned to your background, right? So this is how you identify funded research and fertile research areas. Now, after you must have done this, then you go ahead to study publications from this identified area of yours. Study materials there. Try to gain knowledge on what is going on in this area. The first stage was you identifying. The second stage is you now trying to gain knowledge on what's happening in that area, because most likely it's going to be an advanced area from where you're coming from, right? Okay. Then the third stage, you have to develop a good research proposal. Now, whenever people hear research proposal, they think it's a very big stuff. Even me, when I started, I don't like hearing it. I don't like to hear research proposal. It seems like a task, like right, a very huge task. I don't like hearing it. So, but in the context of what we are talking about, it's not like a very boring, bulky document like that. No. After you've gained, in my second point here, after you've gained knowledge in this identified area, you have to choose a topic. Now, in a document, like a 1 to 2 page document, what is this topic of your intended research? What problems have you identified that necessitated this research in this area? Now, what's your proposed research method, expected results, and conclusion? And this is a very important document. Once you've put this down, what it means is that the knowledge you've gained, you've just articulated them in documents, and it's going to be key for what we are going to be doing after now. Now, I have here that at this stage, you are ready to start because you've gained knowledge and you've articulated your knowledge in documented form, right? Now, targeted schools, visit their website. Now, this second time that you're visiting these websites, you're not just scouting to see professors and what they're doing. You are not particularly going to the website of these professors or researchers, going to their now. When you start going to school websites, you're going to understand that aside from the school websites, professors also have their own research group websites. Most of them have their own research pages where they talk about their research. So you have to, you want to go to these places, right, to see what they're doing. Most times they have advertised positions on their websites. Most times they tell you, if you're interested in what we're doing, this is how you communicate to us. You're going to be seeing a lot of information if you know your way around these websites. So you want to do that. Now, while you're doing this, you want to make note of their full names, their email addresses, name of their research groups. You want to understand what they're doing. If there are advertised topics, you want to note all of these things down. You want to see their recent and current projects that they've done in recent years, right? You want to also see if they have advertised positions. So yeah, we want to make note of all of this, document them, because you're going to be using this information in what we are going to be doing after now. After you've noted this, study a few of their publications. I mean, yeah, you're not studying it to digest it. You're studying to have an idea of what's going on. See if you can pick up a discussion, pick up a striking conversation from there, right? I mean, he used this method. Maybe they're using very advanced method in their research, but maybe back in your school in Nigeria, you only use a computational method, or maybe use an equipment that has some limitations. Now you've seen a gap. When you're going to be talking to the, okay, I mean, I've done something around this. This method we use, I've come to identify that this method has many limitations. Now, it's a very good point if you're saying you are craving an advanced research in his team because you feel the method used in his team are way superior from what you used to know. So you're going to be seeing a lot of information, a lot of points to pick up conversations from when you study what they have done in the group, right? Then with all of this, you develop a specific cold email for every PI. When I say PI, I intentionally use PI because most schools and in the US they say principal investigator, you know, PI, principal investigator. So I intentionally put that so that it will rouse your curiosity. Yeah. Okay, so the next one, don't mind us. We're going to see it clearly in the next slide. Yeah. So I just wanted to show us a structure of a typical cold email. Now I have to make a disclaimer. This is not the best it can be. You can come up with a more impressive one. And again, do not bother about the length. It's not in the length, whether it's too lengthy or very short. It's not about the length, it's about the content, right? So, because in all of these that you see, trust me, every part of it or every section of it is structured to address a specific thing, right? And that's what's most important. And that's what I'm going to be showing us in the next slide. So first of all, okay, so I want us to pay attention to the subject of this email. Now, the subject of your cold email is very important. It's as important as the content of it. When you go to the website of some of these researchers, their websites, why I pointed that out is that most times they tell you how you communicate to them. If you're interested in what we're doing, send an email to us. Use this as a subject. If you're having any attachments, use this as the file name. Most times, some of these information are there. So you want to get this information. You're already shooting yourself on the feet if you do not have this information and they want to be communicated in a certain kind of way, right? They want to be communicated in a certain kind of way and you are not communicating in that way, right? Also, for some advertised positions, you may not have the information that these positions are advertised, and then you're sending just a normal cold email, whereas you are actually supposed to be applying based on the position that has been advertised. So you want to have all of these information. The subject okay, this was one of the emails I sent some time ago, and this subject was what they wanted. They wanted you to highlight a subject in this way so that whenever they see this subject, they know this person is applying for a particular position that they've advertised. So aside from the subject of the email, you're going to see how the email is kind of structured and spaced out. It's not looking very boring and very tiring to read. You're gonna get some email and everything is just clogged up. I mean, me will not be professor. I won't even like to read it. Do you understand? And another important thing I want to highlight here is the attachments. You're gonna see that I have only one attachment here, and that is very important in cold emailing. Why is it important? We know that most emails that we are sending, most email addresses that we are sending emails to, they are institutional emails. And most times, these institutions, they kind of have restrictions on the kind of messages that these emails get. They usually consider some emails that have multiple attachments. They consider it as spam, right? So you want to merge the items you want to have in your cold email. You want to merge them in one PDF and attach just one PDF to your email. If you attach multiple PDFs, most times the person you are targeting to receive, they don't even receive it because it's considered as spam. They don't even get to them, right? So you have to pay attention to this. And that then brings us to the point, what are the necessary things you have to attach to your cold email? Now, it makes sense. Okay, I think let's address that in the next slide. So this that you see here, I've tried to highlight some necessary parts here, and I've tried to use color coding to differentiate on the necessary information that we're trying to convey. Now, I would like us to quickly go through this and point out a few important things. So when I say that this is not about the lengthiness of this, it's not about the bulkiness of it, it's not about how much English you speak, it's about addressing the necessary things that you want to convey, right? Here, we started with the professor's full name. Now, most times, people that send generic cold emails or maybe that prepare spams and think it's cold email, you send an email with a different name to a different researcher. Yeah, people do that, right? And I mean, nobody's going to take you seriously. I mean, you're already shooting yourself on the feet, right? So the name, and that's why we said that when you were doing your survey, you should note their full names and their email addresses. Or maybe then you have a different name and you send it to a different email. Then the second line, I don't think it's very necessary, but then if you feel, I mean, you have it there. Now I am more concerned about I don't know, can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, oh shit, sorry. Okay, yeah. So here, the intention here is that you want to sell yourself. You've introduced yourself. You want to introduce yourself on this section. My name is so, a prospective. Okay, here. Now, if you have first class, I mean, just sell yourself, market yourself a little here, right? Tell us what you're currently doing, right? You want to tell him what you're currently doing. I'm a researcher at so place. I graduated with a first class in so degree. Like, yeah, in a few lines, you sell yourself there. Afterwards, you want to tell here, you want to tell the researcher why or where you got the information from. Okay, I mean, I was going through your profile and I saw this, that, or I'm applying based on some advertised position, or a colleague of yours recommended. You wanna say that here, right? Then afterwards, the aim of this email, you're applying, right? Are you applying? Are you making inquiry, right? Because remember, the subject of your email is going to be stating your intention. Application for a PhD position, application for this, right? And you are again highlighting that here. If you're making inquiry, make it clear that you're making inquiry. Maybe you were reading one of his papers. It's not you applying for a position in his team, right? You're reading a paper and you are communicating him to clarify on some thing that they've done in their group, or maybe you on something like that. Yeah, such connections can be made. Yeah. So here you want to tell him if you are applying, or yeah, you do that here. Then here I consider this as the most important section of a cold email, where you tell us what you've done. Remember, all of these things, I see a lot of persons send cold email and then they are just praising the professor, telling them how you like what they are doing. No, no. I call this the game changer. This is where you tell us what you've done. Yeah. You tell the professor what you've done, and it is on that what you've done that's going to either make him interested in you or not interested in you. Your previous research, what did you do? What did you do? What result did you get? You address this in a few lines. I carried out this research in my master or in my undergraduate research, right? And using this method, we got these results, right? So you want to talk about that here, and then you want to close your statements, right? So one thing that may be missing here is maybe talking about. That's why I said, do not take this as the ultimate a sample, right? Take it as a guide, because I sent this years ago, right? And now I know better. I know better. If I have to do this, I may do it a little more, much better. But I feel this is the main point where you want to introduce yourself and sell yourself a little. You want to say, you want to tell the person where and how you got this information from his website, referred to by a colleague of his, or whatever it is. You want to tell the person your intention. Are you applying to be accepted in his team? Are you applying just to make inquiries? And then you want to talk about the most important item, which is tell us what you've done, right? And then you want to close, right? So in the last line here, it's important that you attach your CV and your academic transcript. I'm going to tell you guys something about this. Attach your CV and your academic transcripts, right? And then also express your interest in communicating with him on any platform that is convenient for the researcher. And this is key, right? Because you wanna say that you're open to further communication or further conversation, right? So telling you guys about this CV and academic transcript. So just about the incident that I referred to that happened just this past week that I was telling Aris about. So this student from Nigeria who communicated the professor that wanted me to give an opinion on the stability of this candidate and to tell him about the universities in Nigeria, for him to know about the reputation of the university he graduated from, right? So after I considered, I read through the guy's the email he sent to the professor and to the research proposition. Genuinely, I think he's an excellent candidate, a very attractive one. But then, you can't be an excellent candidate on just by words of mouth. You need to show us evidence right? Show us evidence, something like that. And I now felt the guy wasn't guided very well, or maybe he's not being opportune to have such guidance we're having today, where you find a need to attach your CV and your academic transcript. Now, what happened was that as much as he was an excellent student, grading with he said he had an impressive CGPA. Now, show us evidence, right? Now, the guy did not attach his transcript. He didn't attach his CV. While that did not close the door of opportunity for him, it kind of elongated the matter. This matter the deal could have been sealed right there, right? And then he'll be scheduled for an interview with the professor, right? So while delay is dangerous in this game is because while we are waiting, okay, uncle, send us your this, send us your that. Another more attractive candidate can pitch this guy, and then if this guy had 4 persons that attached their documents, and then he would not bother reaching out to this guy. You understand? He wouldn't bother. So do the right thing so that you limit there wouldn't be unnecessary delay, and delay can be dangerous. And that person can come and collect your babe and you don't go nice like that, right? So yeah, so that's about this. And I hope this structure it helps us. Yeah, so attach all your documents as a single PDF, yeah, and name it accordingly. So that's about this. Okay, so I believe this should be about the last. Okay, how, when, the time and the days that are most suitable to send cold emails. Now, you should be mindful of the fact that there are what we call summer holiday, right? So, and this thing, the summer break happens between May and August, right? Where most of these professors, they go on vacation. They are not with their, they do not have access to their emails. Even when they do, they don't want to engage, they don't want to reply or have anything that has to do with work within these periods. So you want to note that. So in August, they start coming back to prepare for the fall term, right? So that then makes, in my own recommendation, August to October to be around the best months of the year, to send cold emails. Also bearing in mind that most applications start September. So you want to send emails August to October so that if there would be any consideration, any interview, that would happen within this period so that you'll be able to meet up with the application deadline that almost closes around December. So again, Mondays and Tuesdays are most recommended to send emails. And the reasons are very simple. These are the most active days of the week where most of these professors they have access to their, not like the other days they do not have access, but then they may be carried away with conferences, going for these, that. So Mondays and Tuesdays, yeah. And they're also very key to check their emails in a new week. In a new week, they want to check their emails to see if anything has happened in the past weekend, right? And then depending on the country, the state, and the city, you want to work out your timing and send your emails around 10 a.m. And that's about the best period, because at this time, most of them are that diligent that they get to their office around 9:30. They are seated in their offices around 10. So any email you send around these times has high chances of getting responses. Yeah, for them seeing it. They get tons of emails. So you want to send your email at the time that they are seated with their laptop, and then they receive this email and then they read it, and you stand a very good chance of getting responses. So the do nots of cold email, what you must not do. Please never spam. We talked about spam in the previous first slides, yeah, where you just send random emails without specific, or maybe targeting it to a particular recipient. That's spam. Or maybe attaching multiple documents. Some even go as far as attaching images, which is it's not to, yeah, that's to be discouraged. Never show desperation. Now, this is a very funny one where some persons go as far as pleading with researchers, uh, or maybe complain that please respond. I've been emailing you for so long. No, that's an act of desperation. You must not do that. Okay, so never send multiple. So do not send emails to multiple researchers that are in different areas within the same institution. That's a red flag. Um, Remember that when we started, we say you have to identify your research area. You have to identify what you're going for. And it's very important to do this. So the people that find themselves in this situation they are usually the people that they've not identified their area. They've not identified a research area for themselves. So you find them sending emails to multiple researchers that are in different areas of research within the same institution. You must know that these people, they are human beings who they interact with their colleagues. Yeah. Now, for instance, this guy that I was talking about that's never recruited from Nigeria, he may have a colleague, and then while they're interacting, he would be like, hey, I've been getting tons of emails from Nigeria. What do you think about this? And the guy would be like, yeah, I also got one email from a Nigerian. And then eventually they find out that a person sent to two persons that in research areas. Now, the rest of them no one is going to take seriously. I mean, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what he wants, and that's a red flag. You don't want to do that. Now, lastly, even when they are of the same research area, you don't want to send like you go to some. I've seen this happen in the US where they have the school is so large, the faculty is so big. Now, faculty referring to the researchers, they are so big that in a particular area, you may be getting up to more than 10, 20 researchers in a particular research area, right? Now, are you going to be sending emails to all of the 10 or all of the 20? No, that is not to be encouraged, right? So you want to pick out the best three that their works are most aligned with your interest. That they are all in the same research area does not mean that they all do the same thing, right? So you want to reach out to at least three or something thereabout of the people that their works are most aligned with what you want. And then, I mean, you just hope that that they respond to you. And most times, I'm also going to talk about this in the next slide, where they can refer you to a colleague of theirs who's doing, I mean, if you're that impressive and you are that attractive and an excellent a candidate, they can refer you to a colleague of theirs who they feel their work is more aligned with what you want to do. So lastly here, after you must have done all of these, what are the responses that you may be expecting? The first, you may not get any response, and that's very okay. Yeah. You may get responses that say that they do not have funding at the moment, and that's still very fine. Now, I must tell you, no matter the responses you get, you must not respond negatively to them or maybe feel bad about it, because for somebody like me, I know the person the professor I'm working with today, I think I started sending him emails from 2021 or thereabout. Yeah, so I sent him emails for like 3 years. And not like you're sending email consecutively for just that in a new application cycle, because he enter my eye, just like just like if you dey pursue girl. Yeah. I mean, girl, where you like, yeah, you wanna just stay around. Yeah. So you wanna just stay around. 2021, I communicated him. 2022, I communicated him. And then 2023, I communicated, and then it was 2023 that clicked. So while I understand that in 2021 and 2022, I wasn't very attractive because I wasn't very attractive, yeah. it was 2023 that I believe I was attractive enough, right? And then yeah, I got a response from you, and then it was very positive, right? So because they can also give you a response that they are not recruiting at the moment. Maybe they've not graduated, the guys in the group, so they do not have vacancies, right? And that's still okay. So what you want to do is you still save them. You target them in the subsequent application cycles. Then I highlighted this one, and you should, just like I talked about earlier, they can redirect you to a colleague of theirs. That is now this only happens when they've seen that you are this is an excellent candidate, right? So that's why it's very important for you to make sure you package your emails very well. If they see that you have good prospects, of course they may feel the need to redirect you to a colleague of theirs who has vacancies and who has now you can imagine this guy that I told you that that's looking to recruit from Nigeria. Yeah. If a colleague of his knows that he's looking to recruiting, if they get cold email and then they feel this guy is suited for what this guy is doing, they may feel the need to redirect, right? So, and the last highlight here, which is where we all want to be, where they're going to express interest in you and then ask you when your availability for a Zoom meeting or something like that. And that's where everyone want to be, right? So now once you get this, what next? Now, the last thing to do once you get this positive response is that you want to prepare a brief slide presentation. And then, of course, you're going to respond. And then respond that you're available in their whenever they're available. Or maybe sometimes they give you their own share, and maybe I don't know if you're available on Monday or on Tuesday, something like that. So I mean, you want to choose the earliest. Yeah. You want to choose the earliest vacancy, right? And then, of course, anytime that is available, they're available, you're available, even if it's night. I remember for some of the interviews I did like this, it was night in Nigeria. And of course, there wouldn't even be light. So I would go get rechargeable lanterns, yeah, hang it everywhere so that it will illuminate the space. Yeah, something like, and they are funny experiences, but then you just wanna I mean, respond to them, tell them you are available whenever they are available. If they give you options, choose the earliest, right? And then in preparing for the interview, now trust me, it is not an interview, but it is very important that you understand what they are looking out for at the stage. They want to meet with you. They want to they want to see if you can communicate well in English. It's very important to them. It's very important to them. I've seen them complain a lot about because it makes supervision easier if you can communicate in English. So they want to hear you speak, right? So you want to make sure you speak well. You want to make sure that you everything that you said you did in the code email that you actually did them and you have understanding of them, right? Because it's in speaking that you're going to understand how much this person even understands what he's talking about, right? So and then once you've done, because that research that you said you did, I mean, explain, tell me more about it. So you want to prepare a slide and then show them one or two things, right? So tell them your account, details research, what your program commits, then how would all of these things go? And that would be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Chijindu, thank you very much for the session. I don't know why you're always using a girl with this stuff, but I don't know, young man, you be very careful. Okay, so Guys, I want to believe you have questions. So if you have questions, please, we have maybe 5 to 10 minutes to take questions. And you can also drop them on the group chat so that we'll attend to them as soon as we can. Okay. And then meanwhile, Chijindu, you were hammering on PhD. Can't masters guys follow suit? Can they follow the same pattern and apply for a master's program?
Okay. So it's the same for PhDs and master's application. Yeah. You know, most times the PhD applications, they feel like they have more research experience, and then you're gonna be talking about it's still the same. Wherever you're coming from, your previous research forms your base of engagement, right? So for somebody that's gone in for your master's program, you tell us about your undergraduate research. Yeah. So you tell us from that, right? So the candidate I was talking about, who the professor wanted me to assess, it's a master's application, right? And he has just first degree, right? He has just first degree. So wherever you are going for, use your previous research experience as your base of engagement, and that's just it.
Okay. Okay, but then with the time, how can someone apply to 20 schools? Because you mentioned 20 schools. I was just wondering, we have about 3 to 4 months in an application cycle. So how can someone manage his or her time to make that feasible?
Applying to 20 schools. Okay. Where applying to multiple schools come in my experience, is that if you've done a very good job with cold emailing, you're going to be getting some responses that are very engaging and promising, right? So you've sent to multiple researchers, multiple schools, and you see that all of them are telling you that you are an attractive candidate. And while they are not going to be promising anything to you, they want to be and they want to see your application. I mean, put in an application, right? And they're giving you these green lights. Now you see that all of these are promising, right? And you want to put in an application in all of them. Now, if you've done your job very well, you would have a structure or a sample for most of these applications. In fact, most of these applications, they follow one trend. Like they are almost similar. If you've done your if you've done your assignments very well, you figured out an area, you've written a research proposal. That research proposal that we've talked about earlier, you formulated that, you're gonna see that is going to be key in your application, right? So where you now have structure for most of the documents required for some of these applications, you now see that for every school you want to apply to, you can easily tailor the application, right, to suit the school's requirements with the documents or the information you already have, because you've done your assignments very well. Now, application becomes very easy. Again, you take advantage of most application fee waivers, because applying to multiple schools, up to 20 schools, it's on your money now, right? And nobody has that kind of money to spend. Nobody has that to spend, right? Now, these are the key things that is going to enable you to apply to multiple schools. One, make use of or take the advantage of application fee waivers. And application fee waivers, both those that are advertised and those that are not advertised. Now, many schools offer application fee waivers, but they're not going to tell you unless you ask, right? So you want to start early, seek out for the ones that are advertised, that are publicized, that they are giving waivers. The ones that are not giving waivers, you want to write to the program coordinators. Please do not bother researchers or your prospective supervisors with application fee waivers. I mean, people do that, and people say that their prospective supervisors paid for them, but I feel it's a red flag. I feel it's a red flag. I mean, stick to being professional with them. You are there. I mean, you are communicating them for research purposes. Stick to that. don't bother them with money matter, right? I feel it's a red flag. I don't know. But please do not do that. The program coordinators or the admin people, they are the people that bother them with all of these money matter, say application fee waiver, this one waiver, bother them with that. Now, if you write to them most times, when they see that you're an excellent candidate and you are an attractive one, they won't want to lose your application. So they most likely would give you an application fee waiver. But then for the schools that entirely they do not give application fee, those that they know if you're going to be paying for them or not. The time you've done all of this, then you see that eventually you may just be paying for about three, 4, 5 schools out of the 20 that you are actually applying to. Yeah.